Jörgelt kívánok. Hogy vagy? Here we go again. Boy, hmm, talk about stirring it up. Yesterday's video sure spawned a lot of discussion, and oh goodness gracious. I came home last night. I was driving home last night from spending the better part of the day with Rosanna, thinking about thinking about the various topics and or the various comments and what have you on my videos yesterday, and and all that. And as I got home, I found myself thinking a few different things. I naturally several different things, and it's kind of like I put myself out there. I mean, as far as when it's all said and done, when I come on YouTube such as I do, and I talk about topics such as I did, it's inevitable that I'm going to put myself in a position where I'm subject to a lot of criticism and a lot of what have you. But anyway, it's just what when doing the whole YouTube thing, putting yourself out there, regardless of whether it's YouTube or not, or some other venue, you've got it. You can't have thin skin. You really can't. And while sometimes I may let comments or responses, whatever, get the better of me, it's not too often. Usually I just kind of roll with it, and and that's pretty much what I did yesterday. But then when I think of somebody like Rosanna just venturing out there into the in, into YouTube land, what potentially lies ahead. I mean, people can be just downright mean to one another without question. But anyway, I woke up this morning and I'm sitting there doing my morning work, and twice a month on the 16th, which is today, and the first of each month, I have to do billing because I run up spending to the tune of 10, well, actually, probably to the tune of 25 to $30,000 a month, spending on advertising on Google. And I used to do that spending within my clients' individual accounts, and I would access their spending or their advertising individually through each of their accounts. But long story short, I started to get really good at what I was doing, and I became conscientious of my intellectual property rights. And I brought it all under my Google account, and I manage it all from a centralized spot, and I do the monthly spend, and then they reimburse me, and it's good because I get the miles. I get the miles, which is awfully nice. But anyway, I was sitting there this morning doing my morning work, and in doing so, I found myself sitting there as I'm sitting there in my bathrobe drinking my first cup of coffee of the day. I found myself thinking that here I sit waking up today. I'm going to get on a plane. I'm going to land at Cleveland Hopkins Airport, and my brother's going to pick me up, and then he and a friend of mine and myself are going to watch the Cleveland Browns game tonight. But as I sat there thinking about that, I also found myself thinking, what about tomorrow? What am I going to do tomorrow? Where am I going to go tomorrow? Should I go to, should I head up to Niagara Falls and go up to Niagara Falls? Should I go to Montreal? or should I head right to Quebec? Or maybe forego Quebec and head over towards New England. And as I sat there thinking about all that, I found myself thinking, how many people out there would like to be able to be in that position where they could, wake up and just on a whim, just kind of say, I think I'll go there today, or I'll think I'll do that, or I'll think I'll do, it sounds nice to go there or go there. And, there's probably some people out there. There's probably some people out there. There's probably a lot of people out there, as a matter of fact. There's probably a lot of people out there that wake up and say, that wouldn't be for me. No, I like the comfort of my home. I like the, what have you. But, but human nature being what it is and what I know of it, there's a lot of people out there that would like to have that freedom. There's a lot of people out there that would like to have that flexibility and that freedom, and they can't for any one of several reasons, to include responsibilities. They've got a job, and maybe their health, might prevent them from doing that, or maybe finances. Maybe finances may, prevent them from doing that. And as I sat there thinking about it, I sat there in great part finding myself thinking that, the reason that I can do that, the reason that I found myself in the position of trying to decide, you know, whether I want to go to Europe again for the Christmas markets, or I want to go down to, Australia and spend Christmas in a land of Oz, or what have you. The reason that I'm in that position is because over the years, I've been careful with my money. I've been conscientious of how I spend my money. I've been conscientious of saving my money, and it's that mindset. It's that mindset that's gotten me to the point that I am today. And as I sat there, as I sat there thinking about it, I sat there thinking, how people are so quick to surmise. Is that the right word? You see, sometimes I know how to use words, and I think use words in sentences, but they may or may not be the right context. But how people may perceive me as being cheap, or frugal, or what have you. And fact of the matter is that I'm anything but. I'm anything but cheap. I just like to spend my money wisely. I just like to spend my money wisely. That's all. And I don't like, as the saying goes, it's easy to spend somebody else's money. It's always easy to spend somebody else's money. And, there's when you're in a situation such as, dating, or what have you. Um, it's I think that I don't have any problem. I have no problem with picking up the check. In all honesty, I really don't. It's not about who pays, and when they pay, and how they pay, and what have you. It's not about that. It's more about the lifestyle. It's more about the responsible lifestyle, and living within your means, and being conscientious of an end goal, if you will. And right now, my end goal is a secure retirement. That's my end goal. I always have foresight. I'm always looking ahead. A lot of people, a lot of people don't do that. They just live day to day. They just, a day to day existence, and they wake up and they focus on the day at hand. And it's not to say that I don't focus on the day at hand, but I'm always conscientious of the bigger picture. I'm always conscientious of the road ahead, and not just in the sense of should I go to Montreal or go to Quebec. I'm always conscientious about my future, and that's where that comes from. But as far as being frugal, I think about that. And last year I took Yanae on the trip of her lifetime. Trip of her lifetime. It was a trip that she'll never forget for the rest of her life. Yanae came here from Venezuela, and probably never could have imagined that she was going to do a road trip in a camper and travel to 35 of the 50 United States and see more of this country than most Americans will see in their lifetime. And I took Mercedes across the country the same way. I flew the LTC from Europe over to America. Um, and so I'm not uh, I'm not cheap by any stretch of the imagination. I just like to I just like to spend my money wisely. Spend my money wisely, and not succumb to other people's expectations of how and when I spend my money. But anyway, and that's it's been that attitude. It's been that attitude that got me to where I am today, and where I am today is a place that, to be quite honest with you, I never thought I'd get to this spot. I'm still that little kid that got thrown out of the house at the age of 17, and walking up that street, and seeing that big world out there in front of me, and it scared me to death. And I'm still that little kid. I'm still that little kid when I lay my head on my pillow at night and I think back about that. But anyway, the other thing, I really gotta give credit where credit is due. I mean, I walk into Rosanna's home, and what a beautiful lady. I mean, really, really, in all honesty and sincerity, what a beautiful lady, and I mean that in every sense of the word, physically and and all else. She is, the fact that she did a video yesterday. I don't know those of you that saw it or not, but Rosanna did a video yesterday of cooking, and to knowing knowing what it is to be in front of a camera as much as I am, I know that initially it can be quite a challenge for people, but bless her heart if she's not a natural at it. She really is. She's a natural at being in front of the camera. And I look at her, I look I look at her and I think, what the hell is she doing with a guy like me? You Oh, goodness gracious. I look at her and I think, oh my goodness, what what in the world is she doing with a guy like me? But anyway, but hmm, I I found somebody made a comment yesterday that I am condescending, condescending. And Alexa, what does condescending mean?
The adjective condescending is usually defined as showing or implying a usually patronizing descent from dignity or superiority.
So showing a sense of superiority or something like that. And, you know, I have this tendency where I've traveled a lot. I've traveled a lot, and oftentimes, my travels have taken me to places where people have limited English skills. English is their second language. And I have this tendency when I'm talking to people where English is their second language I have this tendency to kind of slow down and emphasize and what have you. And I change my pattern of speech. Perhaps I change my tone of speech or something like that. And it's not to imply superiority. It's not to be condescending. It's more so to articulate my thoughts and to communicate my thoughts in a way that to make sure that they understand. And it's not because I feel superior to them. It's because I'm conscientious of their situation, and I want to make sure that they understand what it is that I'm saying. And I can easily say, I mean, to be fair, I can easily say that I can understand, people out there looking at something like that and saying, "Boy, this guy's a jerk." What a condescending, what have you. And that's not the case. I'm not superior to anybody. I'm not. I am not superior to anybody. I am only what God made me, nothing more, nothing less. I'm no better than anybody else. And so that was a comment that came across yesterday in relation to my interaction. And I think that it's probably fair to say that when you go back and look at some of my videos of interacting with people, perhaps Mercedes or what have you, you'll see that my tone, my communication was demeanor or whatever you want to call it was different. You'll see that it was different than when I'm talking with somebody. Now she's been here 19 years, and for the most part, she's rather fluent, and she speaks English quite well. There are certain basic things that she may that she may have challenges with, but all in all, her English is excellent. But I still have that tendency where I want to make sure that she knows that she understands what it is that I'm saying. So anyway, she's going to decide this morning. Rosanna is deciding. She's deciding this morning if she's going to fly up to if I'm going to fly her up. She's deciding this morning if I am going to fly her up to Canada, to Quebec, on Friday, and spend the better part of 11 days with me. And we will we'll see what her decision is. I've already decided that if she does decide to fly up, I'm gonna make it a trip for the two of us, and take off the better part of next week, and just enjoy the time together, and take her to Nova Scotia and what have you. The weather forecast looks like it's going to be a beautiful autumn. Temperatures in the upper 60s and low 70s, and what have you, and going and camping on the beach. Camping on the beach with Rosanna. Listening to the sound of the surf and what have you. Boy, that sounds good. It sounds like a nice time, doesn't it? But to clarify a couple other things, the whole thing about foul language and what have you. I was having fun. I was having fun with Rosanna about the profanity in the video. That's it. I was just having fun with her. And whether or not she used that word or not, it doesn't, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. It's what does matter is that profanity is not a part of a person's everyday everyday language. And I said a person. Personally, if I'm communicating with somebody, woman or man, and they use a lot of profanity, I'm not going to say I look down on them, but I sure as hell, I sure as hell don't necessarily look favorably upon them. I just think that it's in poor taste. I think I don't know whether it's a matter of taste or not, but I just think that it's not a good habit to use profanity in one's day-to-day communication. It's just it's just not good. I just don't think that it's good. Whether you're a whether you're a a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. The use of profanity. And Oksana, yesterday, I think she had posted something that it didn't make the main thread. I think because sometimes when people post stuff, it's held for review because YouTube thinks that it might be inappropriate or something like that. But Oksana yesterday implied that I was a hypocrite, and she put together this montage of Trump swearing, President Trump, with all this foul language and what have you. And you know what? As far as President Trump is concerned, personally, I don't like the guy. I wouldn't want to take a road trip with Donald Trump. All right. I personally, I don't like Donald Trump. Just to be clear about that, I do not like Donald Trump. Yes, I voted for him because he's a conservative, and that was the conservative choice. And I'm a conservative. So, Oksana, for you to imply that I'm a hypocrite because I was calling out, Rosanna for using a cuss word and implying that, I like Donald Trump and Donald Trump swears and all that type of stuff. You know, I don't like Donald Trump, and Donald Trump shouldn't swear. It's unbecoming of a president to use that type of language that was in that video. So just to be clear, I'm not a hypocrite. All right, and that is that's a clarification on that. But anyway, time to get on with my day. I am doing some really incredible stuff with my work. Hmm. I am doing some really, really incredible stuff with my work. And Rosanna yesterday was expressing some concern, some concern for me about the amount of time that I spend working. But I don't think that she fully understands that the day you find a job doing what you love is the last day you'll ever work for the rest of your life. And I love what I do. It taps into so many aspects of my what do you want to do, my creativity, my critical thinking, my it all it taps into all of that stuff. And some of the stuff that I am programming right now is just phenomenal. It really is. I mean, it's really something else, and I'm not going to bore you with the details, but but potentially what I'm doing could be an absolute great source of some income for me. And I see somebody just made a comment on the video, but let's see what somebody had to say, if I can read it. So, Tom, will you vote for Trump again? Uh, Absolutely, without question. Of course, I will vote for. Of course, I'll vote for Trump again. I mean, you look at the choices. What are the choices of that? I mean, I cannot. I learned a long time ago. Never say never. Never say never. My uncle taught me that. My dad's brother. He taught me that. And I used to think that it was kind of a crazy saying, never say never. But when you say never, when you say I will never do this, it puts you in an awkward position. It puts you in an awkward position of having to eat your words. But as far as oh my God, can't believe you. So as far as as far as voting for Trump, I don't know if it's as much voting for Trump. When you ask me, will I vote for Trump again? And you say, oh my God, you can't believe me. Okay. It's not as much voting for Trump as it is voting for conservative, conservative values, conservative beliefs. Uh, I mean, the alternative. What's the alternative? To vote for somebody from the Democratic Party who wants to instill socialism, who wants to increase all of our taxes, who wants to make it legal to kill a baby when they're, after delivery, to go around and take all our guns away, to, all that type of stuff. I mean, what's the alternative to voting for, a conservative? And, and as far as Trump is concerned, okay, Trump has been in office now about 2 years, 2 years or something like that. And am I better off? Am I better off now than I was 2 years ago? Personally, I'm significantly better off. Personally, I'm speaking. Just personally, I'm better off 2 years. I don't know if you're better off now than you were before, or what have you. But personally, I'm better off than when Trump took office. And and as far as other things, I mean, you look at the economy. I don't know. The economy is a benchmark. I think more times than not, more times than not, in U.S. elections, the economy, the status of the economy is one of the biggest motivators, the biggest driving factors that determines who ultimately wins the White House. It's the economy, stupid, which was the phrase to George Bush Sr. It's the economy, stupid. And I think that anybody that's an opponent of Donald Trump can't tell can't pin a bad economy on him. You look at the economy of the United States of America, and the economy of the United States of America is strong. So for those of you, Colette, if you want to talk about the economy, what has Trump done for the economy? And unemployment levels. Not only are unemployment levels at I believe all-time record lows. The unemployment rate for minorities, the unemployment for blacks, the unemployment for Hispanics, the unemployment rate is at all-time records, if not record lows for those groups. And people aren't going to cite that. People that oppose Donald Trump do so more on a personal level. They oppose him on a personal level, and I get all that. I get that. As I said, I don't personally like Donald Trump. I wouldn't take a road trip with him. Okay, I don't personally like a man who says that he's going to grab women by the what, and all that type of stuff. I don't like that. Okay, I don't like the man personally. But when it comes to politics, at times you need to separate. You need to separate your personal taste and what have you from other important considerations. So anyway, am I going to vote for Donald Trump? Absolutely. 8 more years. Well, 4 more years. We'll go for we'll go for 4 more years of Mr. Trump. Okay, so anyway, all right, folks. With all that, have a wonderful day. All right, take good care. Oh, wait a minute, Alexa. What's the question of the day? Paula wouldn't forgive me.
You have question of the day enabled. Do you want to open it?
Yes.
Welcome back. Here is today's question of the day. It's from our history game pack and is worth 3 points. Which modern-day country was historically known as Persia? You can choose from A.
Iran.
Bolivia, B. Iran, C. Mongolia, or D. Saudi Arabia.
What is Iran?
Correct. You have earned your 7th history badge and 3 points.
There you go.
Also known as Persia, Iran is home to one of the world's oldest.
All right, folks, have a beautiful day, and go Browns. You know, tomorrow morning I'm going to wake up and I think I'm going to go see Mom. You know, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go see Mom tomorrow morning. I'm going to wake up and, you know, wherever I decide to go, be it you know, Quebec or Montreal or Niagara, whatever it is, I'm going to stop and see Mom on my way out of town. So take good care, everybody. All right. Okay, bye bye.